Hi everyone, my name is Priyanka and welcome to my vlog. So 2025 is coming to an end. Today is 24th of December. While I'm recording this, it's almost 7:30 in the evening. So 2025 is gone and it doesn't matter what all efforts you made in 2025 if they didn't show up. So if you're feeling like this wasn't your year, you're feeling in the dumps and it wasn't something that you want to go back and revisit, then let's understand that 2026 is going to be your year. How? I will tell you how to make 2026 your year, because every time this new year approaches, it gives anxiety to a lot of people. You feel anxious because, like everybody else, you want to set goals, and you know you cannot set goals when you are in a chaotic mindset. So, if you're feeling low and if you're feeling you have no idea how to tackle the year that is coming for you, then let me show you the path. It's going to be very easy, because let me tell you something at the start of this vlog, and that is we are not setting goals for 2026. That's it. I've said it. I know it's very controversial because everybody out there is making videos telling you how to set goals for 2026. In fact, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do just the opposite. I'm going to tell you how to find yourself in 2026, because once you do that, everything that you were aiming for will come to you. So, just like you, I used to set goals. Every year, I would set goals because that's what the whole world is doing, right? So we're supposed to follow the world blindly. And that's where I would go wrong. So every starting of the year, for an entire month, I would be in high spirits. But I think within that month, I would start realizing that I will never be able to achieve my goals, because, first of all, they were too monumental. I had such big goals every year, and I had no way of reaching them. It's just that I used to write those in my diary, and I used to think, oh, yes, I'm going to be that person. I'm going to receive so much of abundance. I'm going to clear up all of my set agendas, and I'm going to be this individual who has done it all. You're also trying that, right? You've been trying it for how many years? Tell me, like, comment down below, for how many years have you been trying to get to that person or an individual that you have created in your diary? And you'll find that most often you're not able to meet that individual, because the individual that you're creating in your diary is totally fake. That's why. So, first thing that you need to apply in your life is stop being fake to your own self. No matter what you'll do in life, what matters is how you will see yourself. Now, if you want to see yourself as someone who's out there, who's doing everything possible, but in reality, in totality, you know that you are not this individual, you know that you can never be this individual. You know why? Because you have created this individual based on the idea of how the world perceives you. So the world is perceiving you as somebody who's very smart, who dresses well, who speaks well, who has lots of money, who has good relationships. You're this perfect being. The person you're creating in your diary every end of the year for the person that you want to see the next year is absolutely ridiculously fake. And that is the reason why you never end up achieving your goals, because you're not setting goals for yourself. You are setting goals for somebody else. So you probably are setting goals for your parents, or you're setting goals because you want to show your peers you're better than them, or you're setting goals to attract a partner in your life. You know, if I'll be slim, so somebody will look at me. If I dress well, somebody will appreciate me. All of these ridiculous things you're doing in life because your perception of this life is coming in from a place of chaos. So you think that if you create this glorified individual, then somebody will appreciate you and you will get applauded. But it's not happening. Every year you try to be this glorified individual, and yet you never end up being that individual. And once you start making this list, what happens to you is that you end up feeling dejected in life. I know the feeling because I used to be in your shoes. I would make such enormous list and every year I would say what a failure I was. I wasn't failing in life. I was failing at being myself. And that is what we're going to change. So, before you start making that list, that glorified list, understand that this is not the individual that you are. And you'll never be this individual. You know why? Because it's not coming from within you. Your soul is not speaking to you. What's speaking to you is your ego. So, ego is telling you that I should behave a certain way, I should appear a certain way. If I have money, if I have looks, if I have so many things in life, people will appreciate me. But you don't realize something in life, and that is no matter what you do, that appreciation is never coming your way. Why? Because you are going to fall short whenever you try and meet people's expectations. So rather than meeting somebody else's expectations, try meeting your own expectation. That is what you want to do. So what do you expect from yourself? Actually, nothing. That is the entire truth of this life. You don't expect anything from yourself except being true to yourself. That's something that is so rare, right? You lie to yourself every day from waking up to going to sleep. You have this whole idea that how you want to live your life. You've mapped it out, haven't you? How you want to live your life. You have so many dreams, expectations. You are feeding into this whole matrix and you're creating a reality that is very far away from you. So, what you want to do is you want to be true to yourself. Because the moment you start being true to yourself, you will stop and listen to yourself. You will listen to that real voice that comes from within you. That is going to tell you, you know what? Stop and do what is important right now in life. But you don't do that. You do what's important in terms of how you are impressing people. Your whole idea of living this life is to impress people. The day you stop impressing people is the day you start living your life. You're free. But are you really? So 2026 should be all about bringing that freedom into your life. Because let me tell you, it's so freeing. It's so freeing to stop living to someone's expectations. Trust me, you're going to live your life from a place of stability the moment you start telling yourself that I am no longer going to live my life like the world expects me to. I will live my life the way I want to live. What feels true to me, what feels real to me. If this is my reality where I'm living right now, and I'm creating another reality from the way I'm living right now, it's going to come out looking very chaotic. And I will feel depressed, I will feel sad, I will feel anxiety in my life because I am trying to build a person that is not possible at all. I'm trying to build a person from broken pieces. You are broken from inside right now, broken from inside because you keep on living your life from one failure to another. And you're not failing in life, you're failing in expectations. And every time you fail someone's expectations, you end up feeling broken from inside. Every time we try and live our life from a place of our true self, we will find that we will end up losing a lot of people in our life. Because fake people cannot live with people who have found their true selves. So you will end up losing a lot of people in your life. You have to get ready for that. If 2026 is where you find yourself, then let me tell you, 2026 is also going to be the year where you will end up reducing your company because you will end up losing a lot of people who will not appreciate you finding your own inner voice. So rather than making a diary where you end up making a list, why don't you do something different? You, first of all, find some silence in your life because you don't have a moment of silence in your life because you're always thinking. Your mind is non-stop working on a problem that you have created. Either it's coming in from your past or you're thinking about your future. It's always there. I want this life. I don't have it. So I'm going to overthink. Then I have a problem from my past. This person treated me this way. I failed miserably in my life. So now that is a problem coming in from the past. And that's how you work up this whole emotion of being a fragile individual, being this victim, and you end up complaining, end up crying, end up feeling sad and depressed, and you end up talking about it to everybody. But you don't end up doing anything about it. You know what you need to do? You need to stop thinking. But you cannot stop your thoughts. If I ask you today, you know what? Stop thinking about yourself. You're going to end up overthinking about yourself. And that's exactly what you do. So rather than trying to stop your thought process or trying to control your thoughts, what you need to do is you need to find some silence in your life. And you cannot find silence in TV, by partying, by sitting with your friends, by going on vacations. No, you cannot find silence over there. The only place you'll find silence is when you close your eyes and think of the divine. Because that's the only way your chaotic mind knows how to disconnect with this world. It needs to connect with the divinity within you. You don't understand that you are an energy being, that your mind is far more complicated than you give it credit. So, right now, what you're doing is you are not using your mind's potential. What you're doing is you're just wasting it. It's like an untrained monkey, and it's just overthinking and overthinking, and that is impacting your life. If you want some stability in your life, you have to silence that mind of yours, and it cannot get silenced on its own. It has to connect with the divine. Just the way you recharge your laptops and your phones, you need to recharge your mind too. And you cannot recharge it in the real world because the real world is filled up with people who have never worked upon their emotions. So, whenever you go out in the crowd and you interact with people, you will realize that everyone is carrying so much of emotional burden. I met a lot of people just before I started recording this video, and in those 40 minutes of meeting so many individuals, I realized something. Everyone was complaining. Either it was about the food that they're eating or consuming. Also, they were complaining about their children, and the children are complaining about the parents. Then everybody was complaining about how the world is shifting, how it is becoming very unstable. Parents were just disturbed by how fast life is changing, so they cannot predict what kind of career the children will have. Everybody I met was having this sense of doom. And I realized something, that everyone will carry this energy forward into 2026. This is why I decided that I'm going to come here and talk. Usually, I make my videos by writing down what I have to talk about. So today, I have not written down anything. Today, I just met a lot of people, and it struck me that this is what I want to talk about. A lot of information today. And what I realized was that people were thinking about things that would not matter to them in 5 years. So, a girl was talking about her looks. She's a teenager and she felt she was ugly. And then I just looked at her and I told her that, you know what? Maybe you've not seen yourself in the mirror. Not really seen yourself. And she didn't agree with me. She said, no, I look at myself every day in the mirror. And I said, no, you don't look at yourself. What you're doing is you're simply looking at an image that the world is creating for you. But of course, it was something very deep for her to understand, and she will learn through experience and time. She will learn to love herself, or probably she'll learn to hate herself, because this is what we do. We carry the burden of the entire world on our shoulders. We carry that image, and we think that this is who we are. It's very difficult to change that. And if you're somebody who's thinking just like this girl, maybe you're thinking, I'm not pretty, or you're thinking, I'm not lovable, any of these things, let me tell you that you're not able to see yourself clearly. Because if you saw yourself in the truest light, how divine sees you, you will stop complaining and you laugh at yourself and you will say, oh, how silly am I being right now? But you don't want to do that because you're conditioned to think a certain way. And because you're conditioned to think a certain way, you will keep on thinking like that. Until unless you decide one day that, you know what, next year, I don't want to be this individual that I am right now. That is something that you need to settle upon. Because that's exactly what we do. We make so many goals and we make a big list. But what we don't do is we don't work upon ourselves. You have to work at the core. Everything else will work upon itself. But you don't want to work at your core. You don't want to correct things at core level. You don't want to correct your thinking. And you are thinking that I will correct everything on the peripheral, on the outside. And then I'm going to look like this, I'm going to talk like this, so probably I'm going to attract a great partner. Nothing will work for you till the time you don't work upon yourself. That dream life of yours is waiting for you, except that you don't want to approach it. You're saying to that dream life, oh, hold on, I have a doubt about you. I have so many doubts about you. How will you come into my life? I'm not worthy of it. That's exactly what you're doing. So if you want 2026 to be your year, you have to stop doubting yourself. But if I ask you stop doubting yourself, will you be able to stop yourself? Of course not, because this is what you do. You wake up every day and instill your brain with lots of doubts. First thing in the morning you will do is tell yourself what is not working out for you. You will look at your face in the mirror, probably not even look at yourself in the mirror because you don't like the way you're looking. All puffy in the face, all tired from so much of overthinking. You kept on thinking even while you were sleeping. Your subconscious mind didn't get any rest because it was calculating how everybody is treating you. You have been paying attention to the outside world, and what has it given you? Only chaos. Time has come for you to pay attention to your inside world. Once you do that, let me tell you, everything will autocorrect. You don't have to do anything. Everything will come to you. I'm telling you from years of experience because I was like you. I would look at the outside world and then look at myself and blame myself because that's exactly the kind of feedback I was receiving in my life. And I went through a lot of bullying too in school. So many years I did the same thing. Just like you, I kept on sowing so many doubts in my mind about who I was, where was my footing. And then I suddenly realized that I cannot live my life like this. And I changed the way I had been operating because I changed the way I had been looking at myself and perceiving myself. So I started sitting down in stillness. And that stillness opened up so many new opportunities in my life. Things just came to me. All I had to do was think about it and it would come to me. You know why it came to me? Because I decided that I would not sow any seeds of doubt. So, 2026, the only goal you have is stop doubting yourself. Start connecting with your inner self. Once you do that, everything will work out for you. But are you really ready for that? Trust me, a lot of people never get ready for this kind of inner work. You know why? Because they're too scared to find out what they will find in the inner depths. You'll not find anything. You'll only find silence. There's no negative image of you or negative feedback of you. There's nothing. All you have to do is sit in stillness, connect with the divinity within you. That's all. And that's where you will find yourself. The real you that is not scared of the world, that doesn't have any image in mind about the way they are. You will not identify with any of that feedback that you've received in your life. You stop identifying with that. You stop people pleasing and you will just learn to accept yourself the way you are. You will not attempt to change yourself for anyone. And this is what you want from life. You want to live your life with freedom. But you don't have any freedom right now. You are just a slave to your own thinking. Your thinking is stopping you from reaching to your dream destination. You want to lead a happy life if you want to be this individual who goes out there and chases their dream, then you have to stop doubting yourself. And the only way you can do that is when you start surrendering to the divine. Wishing you and your family a very happy new year. May 2026 be your year and may divine bless you with lots of health, wealth, and prosperity. And with that, I'm going to end my vlog. If you love my vlog, do like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.